Welcome, welcome to the webinar, to the workshop, Break the Never Enough Circle, a way to create what you love. We are already end of January right now, and many of us have had very good New Year's resolutions. And I believe that also many of us, especially when you have joined now or you're listening to this later on, then you also feel that it becomes harder. You might have started full of enthusiasm. You might have started really to wanting to create that what you had in mind would enrich your life. But then things got tough, normal life came in between, and we kind of start getting into our old routines, and we might even have stopped altogether with what we actually wanted to create. That is happening to most people. But because you are here and because you're listening to this now, you have decided that what you wanted to create in 2026 is worthwhile, an effort to find out if there is another way to create that what is so important to you and that could really make a difference for you. And this is why you're here, and this is why I'm sharing that. There is something very, very important to understand. There are two things inside of ourselves, directed, of course, by our brains. One thing is the limbic system, our emotional brain. Then there is the brain stem, our brain that has a very, very essential order to live, survival, and with whom to mate and stuff like that. Yeah. So, and then there is another brain, and there is the cerebral cortex, the prefrontal lobe to be more specific. And that one can look into the future. It looks into its life, it can reflect on itself, and it can see and decide by itself, now, here I want to change something. You can see of what you're doing, you can reflect on it, and you can make decisions. And you do that, actually, this brain has no fear. It just wants to do it. It can fall in love with it. It can have passion about it. And this is how you started the new year. This is how you got into touch with what you actually wanted to create. If it is something personal, perhaps you want to be more fit, eating more healthy, or perhaps you really want to focus on writing a book, or you want to focus on starting a business or improving the business that you have. Perhaps you want to climb a ladder in your career, you want to change job or get a promotion. So whatever it is that you perhaps have in mind and that you say, like, this is I would really put attention to, the moment that you have decided upon that, there was one aspect in you that was active in it, and that is your prefrontal lobe. Fearless, full of enthusiasm, full of not even hope. It has already seen it and it's already done. Yeah, it is excited about it. And then we come into life. And then the other two brains are coming into action. And especially our limbic system comes into action. That brain, which basically wants to protect us, inform that our especially emotional needs are met. The brain stem is pure for survival. Yeah, it needs to be safe. It needs to yeah, have food. So that it's, and of course it directs all our automatic systems in our body. But this emotional brain, the limbic system, is kicking in because you were not doing what you were doing in for no reason. You had very good reason to develop those traits and those things that you finally reflected upon and decided, no, these are not good things. I want it differently. But there is a system in you that has kind of rearranged with itself a way to be in life without having stress, too much stress. It has not an intention of being enriched. It has not an intention to be joyful. It just wants to be not in stress. That is its purpose. And then you might live a life that might just be not too bad, but it's not what you want. You want more out of life. You want to enjoy your life. And that is where the discrepancy comes. This is where those aspects are coming into clashing with each other. Because when you made the decision you kind of ignored the other parts. This part in you that had already something working. It was not joyful, it was not good, but it was something, it worked. You knew it, and you came through the day safely. You were still alive at the end of the day. And it keeps it also alive because there is this thing inside of that system that always believes that when I make enough effort, then I will get it. When I make enough effort, then I will get that respect. Then I will get that appreciation. Then I will be seen. These are all emotional needs that are intrinsic in our human nature and that we all do have. And that as a child, we are desiring them to get fulfilled. And it's not just a desire, it is a need. It is equal to our biological system to having food, shelter, and safety, which are the basic needs that we have. We have these emotional needs, and they are equally in our system as our physical needs. It's also here about survival, not about well being, not about feeling happy, not about feeling meaningful and stuff like that. Yeah? So, this is where the never enough circle kicks in. We are activating when we have a target, something that we want to create in our life. We adding stress to the rest of those aspects because they had a working system. And then structural conflict is arising. You are moving towards one side, and the more you're moving towards on one side, and your identity and who you think you are and what is safe is still here. So when we are imagining a rubber band in between here, yeah, then there comes tension on it. Here at the beginning, when you have just the idea, it's very safe, so you can move, there's no tension. But the more you are moving towards it, the more stress comes on this system that just wants to keep the old, which it knows, which the old is always the safe. And then there comes tension to it. And then there comes a time, because the system, our biological system, isn't designed to live a long time with tension. It automatically comes back. It automatically has to come back to this one. And it moves further and further. And then finally you're back to where you were. And you're telling yourself, like, a million reasons why it did not function. And perhaps you are the other side over the chain and you're blaming yourself and you're pulling yourself down. And then you're not even here, then you're here. But also here, where you have a lot of self-blame and you feel a loser and stuff like that, your system won't allow that. It gives too much stress. So you come slowly, slowly back to wang, this normal system, where you are kind of in peace, not happy, not satisfied, but there is a kind of regularity here, even when it means that you're fighting with your husband or your wife, even when you're struggling in your job, even when this is all what you know. And what you know is to this system always more safe than that what you don't know, because what you want to create is something new and you don't know that. And this is a difficulty here. So, what is the solution? And I want to give that now to you. What is the solution here? We need to take this one here to here. We need to integrate it into our plan, because if we don't, we are creating this structural conflict. It's biology. We cannot avoid that happening. When we are unaware that we have to take this one here, yeah, then you cannot master actually new in your life, not something that is enriching. So what we do normally in development world, and when you're listening to that, probably you have done ABCD with it. We're saying, okay, yeah, that we are here, it's all because of fear and pain and hurt from the past. Yeah. And this is why I'm not daring, and so on. And this is, of course, kind of true. Yeah. So these aspects here that keep you here, they want to have it safe. It's a task to keep you safe. But why is it that they have to keep themselves safe? And this is now new, and listen very carefully to what I'm saying now. If you might want to write this down. These aspects is not just a fear aspect. It's aspects inside of you that are operating on a child mode. They are having designed for themselves functional behaviors, yeah, in order to stay coherent, in order to stay safe and get certain needs fulfilled, or at least to have the hope that it ever will happen. And this is where the child comes in. And when the child doesn't feel safe, it cannot develop further, just like a normal physical child. When the child doesn't feel safe, it has not the capacity to get itself out of that, yeah, as a small child, because it is so depending on the outside world, so focused on getting that what it needs from the outside, because it simply biologically has not the capacity to get it by itself, because it is small and it is a child and it is fully depending on the outside world. And of course, we can ask ourselves, how is it possible that we human beings are a species so small in our posture and taking so unbelievably long in order to grow up, physically even? Why does it take 16, 18 years to grow up? What is the reason of it? And the reason of it is that this time of our young years, yeah, is not to be ready for adulthood only physically, yes, but it is a forming time of our intrinsic capacities to live our best life. So these aspects, just like everything else in nature, needs protection first. And after some time, when it grows up, it grows stronger and bigger. Just like a seedling, when we put it into the earth, it has to be nourished very well, very carefully for it to grow. It is needy. It does not yet give anything. It just needs to protection and care and a nourishing environment. And when we are providing this nourishing environment to these aspects here that are seemingly in the way, they can unfold themselves into constructive, powerful, very, very valuable aspects of our being that actually we need. They are not our obstacles. We need them to grow up and to move to this side where they are very contributive towards of what we want to design, towards of what we want to create in our lives. If we don't do that, if we try want to keep it like to heal it away, to meditate it away, but away because we feel it's an obstacle in our life, we are missing here big pieces of our capacities, big pieces of our powerful being, which we just leave here or want to be away. Yeah, and then we can still not create, even if we can hold on the tension very long, we still will be half power or even on the break because we are missing these aspects. They are still children needy and they're here and they're pulling us down back here to where we are coherent again. We are again in peace, not happy, not satisfied, not contributive, not in any way living the life we want to, but we are alive and in the illusion of safety. So when we take these aspects and we are seeing for what they are, and this is what I want to share with you, and this is what the NEWEX is about, organic development. When these aspects that are actually formed, the forming is finished, they are having everything. It is like a seed which has the blueprint of the intrinsic natural intelligence, and it's all already here. It just needs this nourishing environment, and it needs to be seen just like a physical child for it to grow organically towards becoming these missing links we need, these links we need in order to create that life, which is ours, yeah, which is naturally intrinsically feeling like, yes, this is me, this is my authentic me. And because we are wanting to do away with it, we don't feel authentic. We always feel that something is missing, and then we never feel that anything is enough through these ones, of course, but also here. Also, when you have achieved something, there is something missing, and these aspects, because you have no clue how powerful you actually are when you take them on board, when you allow them to grow up, and you allow them to grow up by first seeing them seeing for what they are. And I call that the UAs, the unchangeable, always visible signature every single aspect in us has. And it expresses itself through behaviors. And of course, it has beliefs and blah, 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 all the forming stuff. In the forming tools, it's also good to shed them off, but don't pour the kid together with the bathing water into the drain. Don't do that because it's your baby. It is just small and it needs your loving attention and encouragement in order to grow up. So, to not having this very normal structural conflict, we need to take this one and we need to want it. And then organic development can happen. When we are giving this safe environment, that is all what children need, a safe, loving, spacious, encouraging environment. It does Nobody needs to tell who it should be, and especially not those aspects, because they are ready. They are seeds. They have everything. Their intrinsic natural intelligence is there. It's there. And it also wants to contribute, but it cannot as long as it is stuck here in the child mode. It needs to grow up to become an adult aspect of who you are. And that is the new way of creating, seeing the U waves, seeing this signature, this intelligence within each trait of yours. Let me give you a small example of that, and then we are coming to the practical part where we are looking at for the ones who are present here, for your individual traits, how that looked like. Well, here the presentation is then, after I have given one or two examples, is finished. You can watch that later, and please, when you feel inspired, enroll for the next workshop. I'm every month organizing one, and you come, and then we are looking at your traits, and you have then your very, very own proof for that these aspects have never been an obstacle. They have been a beautiful aspects of you. You need it to feel fulfilled, to feel powerful, to have everything that you have at your disposal to create that what is important to you. As long as you don't see that, as long as you don't see them as what they are, those powerful aspects inside of you, the seeds which complete you and the never enough circle, because regardless if here they are needy, it's never enough. You will always be unhappy. You will always be seeking for that something is missing. And even if you have created what you wanted and you think now it will be, you still will feel it's not enough, something is missing. And these are those guys. These are these beautiful aspects of you that are missing. You don't have yet really tapped into your complete power that you have because it's here. And it's not about healing. It's not about seeing a shadow or something like that. It is really the unchangeable, always visible signature each trait holds. So let us take one. Let us take what is perhaps here very much postponing. Perhaps you're postponing actions when you want to create what you want. Perhaps you say, okay, yeah, I know, and you need to do this or I need to do that. And then you're postponing. You're not doing that. Yeah. And here, what is postponing actually? What is the U wave, the unchangeable, always visible signature of postponing? And when we do it in our live session now, when we are cutting off the video and we really talk our own stuff, yeah, then I need to know a little bit like how do you do? And you can ask yourself also that question: how do you do your postponing? Is it really that you're triggered by having to follow rules, or are you triggered by fearing that you will not succeed, that you fear rejection, that you fear that as long as it stays a dream, I can dream longer, but when I come into reality, then the rejection will follow? Or is it perhaps that you are postponing because you fear, yeah, that you can't handle that what you are uh, thinking you want to do? So every person has its very, very own unique way of postponing. Yeah, very unique way. Let us take the one yeah, that you are actually fearing your own success, that you fear that you cannot handle that what comes on your plate when you have achieved that. Yeah. So what is it then? Yeah. What is your unchangeable, always visible signature here? For that, we strip off all stories. So what is it that you're really doing? You are checking in within yourself if that which you are desiring to create in your life is actually really a fit. When it is out of self protection and fear, you fear that I'm insufficient, I cannot do that, it's for others, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, that might be the motivation for it. But at the same time, just imagine you have shed off all the forming tools, and this part has become not a vulnerable seed, but it is already kind of powerful tree. It is a powerful fruit-carrying tree. What is it then when it comes into enriching? And this is also a natural process. Everything in nature has a powerful meaning. There's nothing in nature that is without use. But there are things in nature, and all of it actually, when it is small, then it is vulnerable, and it is needy, and it needs care. So coming back on postponing, that you are fearing your own success, that you cannot handle it, that it is too much, that you not there. What is it doing? So you're creating a gap from the idea towards the action, towards creating what you want. And when you are the owner of the one who believes on fears that it might not really be you, yeah, then this, when it comes to becoming enriching, it is simply to check within, is it really what I want? Because you are very specific in what you want to create. And you have something else when you are a holder of that. You have let go many opportunities other people told you you should take. And probably it did cost you quite some, but it is never a good thing to do things because other people tell you, or other people, or society thinks you should do this, you should do that, and then you are going there because society tells you. You are very, very much intrinsically motivated when you're a holder of a postponing in that level. So checking in with yourself, is this really what I want? Or do I just want it because it's an opportunity, or because other people say, or because I'm just not feeling well anymore here? So let me take something what looks good. But is it really your thing? And this is what your postponer, what is the brilliance of that postponer when you have that? Evaluate your creation. Is it really what you want? Or perhaps you are a postponer against authority. There are quite some of that. You are also rejecting your own authority because you come forcefully upon yourself. You say, this is what I'm now going to do. I want it this way. And then you get into struggle with the one who does not want to listen to authority, also not even your own authority. And then you are actually sabotaging yourself when you do that. But it holds also something else. Yeah, the always visible, unchangeable essence is something else, because you are truly and honestly questioning the way. The way, you don't like the way as you come there. You don't like this discipline, the rules, and everything that comes with it. Here, it's not about the target. You want the target, but you don't want to do the way. You don't want that when you are one who is resisting authority, even your own. Yeah. So you don't like discipline, and you don't have discipline probably. Otherwise, you would not have the problem. Yeah. So here, it is very important to find the way that it is your way to go where you want to go, not just a way that is obvious. And while you shed off your forming tools, which give space, this is a space that these aspects of us need in order to grow organically towards enriching expression of you. The shedding off is a resistance to authority. And of course, you will then accept your own authority, but your own authority will tell you how you want to do it, how you want to do it, how you want to achieve that. What is your unique way of creating that? And it is not that discipline, it is not this app, it is not that what tells you check, 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 check. That is perhaps not your thing. So postponing is an absolutely powerful asset in creating, because when we take it on board, we have a chance that the way towards becomes joyful, which is so much more worthwhile doing it when it is joyful. Or you are not going all the way with all the discipline, and then at the end, you don't have what you wanted. You just had an idea of others or society, what would be good for you. These are just two examples. And I'm now curious, we're going now into meeting each other and to look into several of your very individual personal ways and strategies of not achieving and not creating of what you want. It's my passion to see you joyfully creating in your life that which is really an expression of your full, authentic being, not half, and not in ways as it is not fit to you. Thank you for listening so far, and let's move now to the individual workshops.
When this spoke to you, don't wait. Get to know the gift and what seems to block you, and begin creating unmistakably and powerfully what you love. Visit our website, www.my-newex.com. NEWEX, organic, authentic development. Looking forward to meeting you. Thank you for watching.